Please join me as we revisit the forgotten flagship, the LG G2. Now let's just jump straight to the design and build of the LG G2. It has such a nice form factor, a 5.2-inch display, near bezel-less, as you can see there. And you got your front-facing camera, proximity sensors. On the side, you have your SIM card tray with this metal band that wraps around the entire device. And you got down-firing speakers, your charging port, as well as your headphone jack on the bottom. And how can we forget those signature back buttons? Now let's go ahead and talk about display. This is a 1080 by 1920 5.2-inch full HD IPS display, 423 pixels per inch. Now holding this in my hand, this definitely feels like a flagship phone. I mean, the way it operates, the way it performs, it's fast. It has a Snapdragon 800, and it just is buttery smooth. Everything just flows really good on this device. Even it being 3 years old, it still performs just like a beast. I mean, every task I've thrown at it has handled it with no problems whatsoever. Not a whole lot of lag. Like I mentioned, just everything just flows very smooth. Now this is the Verizon version. So the Verizon version of the LG G2 has no removable back. Okay, that might be, and for most people that was a downfall for LG G2, the non-removable back. But it does have a 3000 milliamp battery, which is pretty good and a pretty large size. Now this device does have the knock-on code. It does have Q-Slide apps. It has an IR blaster built in. The Q-Slide apps work perfect. The IR blaster works perfect as well. Battery saver mode. And you can edit these, your notification panel. So you can pick from a variety to choose from. And I mean, the list goes on and on. It has NFC, Miracast, it can invert colors. So it definitely, performs just like any newer device out there. Let's just jump straight into settings here, and settings has such a variety to choose from. I'm sure 3 years ago it was probably really overwhelming for people who had this LG G2. Nowadays it's just the norm, to have all these settings and options to choose from. So look at the lock screen. This does have the knock-on code. You can, it does have the swipe effect, so you can pick mosaic, soda, vector circle, light particle. So just like the newer LGs out there, it has the exact same thing. We got shortcuts as well, and let's kind of scroll around and see what else this LG G2 has to offer. Again, the signature knock code right there. And the display, oh, it's amazing. Now, like I mentioned, the battery is 3000 milliamps, and it performs even after 3 years very well. It can definitely get me through an entire day on heavy usage. Jump to the camera. The camera is 13 megapixel camera, optical image stabilization, full HD recording. I mean, this camera does it all. I mean, every picture comes out perfect. The first shot, you get the double tap to zoom in, and I mean, I'm telling you, the camera is just on point. I mean, everything about this, I mean, is just super nice. I can't say enough. Now, when it comes to watching YouTube videos, this is definitely a pleasure to watch. The screen, the way it's nearly bezel-less, it just gives us such a great viewing experience. And you can watch these videos at 1080p at 60 frames per second. So I'm telling you, the video watching is awesome on this LG G2. Now this is powered by 2.26 gigahertz quad-core processor. So game playing is pretty awesome, I gotta say. The screen looks nice, it's bright, everything just flows, and it can run those really high-powered games with no problems. Built-in wireless charging, another plus with this device. And I ran a couple tests on this. LG G2, single score 921, multi-score 2770. And another great feature is the back power button also serves as a notification light, as well as you have one in the front. So there. Now, as I was doing my research for this review and reading comments from like 3 years ago, a lot of people weren't happy with the fact that this LG G2 from Verizon has no removable back, and it has no expandable storage, and the glossy plastic to the LG G2, mainly on the back of the device. So I can see the concerns with a lot of people and their issues with that. Of course, if a problem happens with your battery, you can't just pop open the back cover and swap it out. You actually have to send it in to get repaired. If your back cover got damaged, I read a lot of comments about that, and you can't just take off the back cover and buy a new one off Amazon to replace, and as well as the expandable storage. So you do get the 32 gigabytes, which seems like more than enough, but I'm sure after 3 years you can really fill up the storage. But overall, my experience with this device, 10 out of 10. I had no issues whatsoever, no overheating issues. Storage is more than adequate for me. Everything just performed and worked just like a flagship device. Anyways, if you enjoyed this review, please hit the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more future videos. This is Paul Tech, and I'll talk to you on the next one.